What's up, everybody? Marksmellybell here. I got some intervals to do today. 10 runs at doing 3/4 of a mile on like a 7:25-minute pace or so. The thing is I haven't run fast and hard and that long in a bit, so I'm actually going to change it a little bit, and I'll be happy with about 8.5 minutes per mile. And the 10 sprints, I'm just going to kind of judge it by how I feel as I'm going. If I got 10 sprints in me, I'm going to go. But I want to teach you guys it's okay to make audibles. I'm just a couple weeks away from the Boston Marathon, and I cannot afford to get an injury. I can't afford really any setback. So I want good positive input from today, and I'm going to give it everything that I got. But at the same time, if something's not feeling right, I have no problem with taking a little extra rest or just moving on, basically. That's one of the hardest things to do. I've said that many times at Super Training Gym. Some of the strongest moves I've ever seen people make is to take their weight off the bar and train with lighter weights, and sometimes even just go home after they exhausted themselves. So we're gonna put some good effort in. It's supposed to be 7:25 for the mile pace, and it's around a 3-minute and 30-second rest. And on the rest, I can jog, I can walk, I can kind of do whatever I need to cool back down and to kind of calm back down. So here's hill number 1, and you'll see, like, I'll have to hit the hill, then I got to run downhill, which is another reason why I cut the time a bit, because it's hard for me at this stage to run fast downhill. I'm just not ready or prepared for that. I haven't done much of that. But then I'll be on the straightaway for a little bit, so I'll try to pick the speed back up. So I hate admitting this out loud. My wife keeps hearing me cough and blow my nose and stuff. She's like, "Are you?" And I'll just leave the word out. She's like, "Are you okay? You have a sore?" I'm like, just not saying anything. But yeah, something happened. My daughter has been, a bunch of people around me have had something, and I didn't get anything. I'm gonna fucking wake up tomorrow and feel amazing. Especially after this run, it's gonna be just the input that I need. So here we fucking go. From the ultimate bro session with anabolic activities, Kenny Williams. We did a lot of pecs today, but that run feels good. I feel really smooth, I feel comfortable, I feel looser than I have. I would say over the last 10 days or so, I've been stretching and doing a lot of myofascial release stuff, along with lifting and using the weights to stretch. Not really just your normal stretches, but a lot of implementing movement and just range of motion that my body's uncomfortable with. My groin is really tight and my high hamstring glute. So I've been working on that a ton, but not even halfway through this workout. So there's more to go. As I'm running, I'm messing around with the WEC stuff, the head over foot. Feels really good, especially when I'm doing the hill. And when I'm on that hill, my thought is just don't get caught in the middle. Stay side to side and push off. That's feeling really good with my feet, trying to orient them so they're straighter. One thing I've noticed is that I tend to kind of go here. So I swing out. Pretty common to swing your foot out a little bit, but that's because I was used to landing kind of more like that. But I'm working on kind of solving all these things one at a time. And if I just push my hips back a little bit, not in necessarily overextension, but just push the hips back a little bit, it allows the feet to be a lot straighter, a lot easier. So these are all things I'm trying to implement, but on each run, I try to hone in on just one thing. So on the next set, that's probably what I'll be focused on, is just having the hips be back a little bit. You want your crown forward and your tail, your butt, to be back. Boom, you're here. Also for me, it's important to do my kind of low and slow method, which is just kind of rocking in here, which makes you look a little bit like an old man, but this is still really safe for me. So I haven't really branched out. I haven't let, you know, everything just fucking like go. It still feels to some extent, I haven't let everything go because it still feels like I'm gonna like blow a bunch of shit apart. So it's gonna take a long time to turn a 1,000-pound squatter into a good runner, but I'm having fun with it. I enjoy it. I like it a lot. And so even after the marathon, April 17th, I'm just gonna keep running and running and running and running. I really love it. I enjoy it a lot. I have a bunch of family vacations coming up. Gonna be like in Iceland and Germany and coming up Seattle, and it just adds another element of excitement. I can't wait to run in all those towns and cities and basically run all over the world. So it's kind of neat. Anyway, back to training. This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv. Oh, whoops, I got hit into a warp zone, runner's high. Feeling amazing today. I think all I'm gonna do is basically run it back to kind of where I started today. So I'm probably about 2 miles away from like my location. So what I'll do is I'll do one more interval, and I think it's gonna put me at like 5 or 6. I was responsible for 10, but my legs are just shot. And what I want to encourage you guys to do is don't be so obsessed with the number. If you're gonna obsess about anything, which there's not really too much to obsess over, but I would pay attention to detail, and I would pay attention to the technique. So I'm still new to running, so I'm not professing that I have some sort of awesome technique or special technique, but I have learned a lot. And what I'm learning is that once you fatigue, just like in powerlifting, once you fatigue, it's a mistake to continue to really try to push yourself hard. Now, some people like, well, what about, you know, being intense? And like, that stuff's great to a certain degree, because you get your mind sets in there, right? And it can alter your mind and your ability to take on challenges and stuff. But that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having good training inputs that are going to actually make you better. And if you care about being better, then you will not sacrifice decisions that you just think are cool. Because the decisions, just because you're cool or tough, those are not necessarily the decisions that are going to make you better. They sometimes can, because sometimes it just takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness and a lot of consistency to be good at something and to eventually be great at it. You will have to push yourself. But in the beginning of any venture that you ever do, just take your time with it. I was never in a hurry with powerlifting. I never even tried to be that good at powerlifting, to be honest with you, until I had a lot of other people kind of telling me like, whoa, dude, that's great. That's impressive. Wow, okay. Once that happened, and I squatted like 800 pounds, I was like, okay, well now I kind of feel like I'm something. Maybe I should focus on this more. And that is when I made sure that I was ready for all the sets and reps and stuff like that. But main point is, you ain't ready. You're not ready. You think you're ready, but you're not ready. You're not ready for some of these intensities sometimes. And it's okay that you're not ready now, because you're working on it and you're preparing yourself, and you're going to continue to get better over time. But just as I always say, I don't think anybody really wants to hear it, all this stuff takes a really long time. The body that you want, the money that you want, the strength that you want, all these things take a lot of time. And when you see somebody else with those things and you don't have those things, it can make you bitter. It can kind of make you upset. Then you're trying to find excuses on why they got something that you don't have. But it doesn't matter how they got there or what they did. This is about your journey and how you're going to figure it out. Same thing with business. I wasn't really necessarily trying to do anything. I'm very fortunate that I came up with an invention, the slingshot, and that kind of forever changed my life. But I would have never thought of the slingshot if I wasn't casual, if I wasn't chill, if I wasn't kind of laid back. So yeah, I have a fuck you, motherfucker, watch this shit, watch what I can do mentality sometimes. I also have a side that's really, really soft. That's like, you should not do that yet. You're not ready for that. Don't challenge that other guy. You're not ready to climb that mountain yet. So pull back, hold back. So you have to really understand, all of this stuff that we do, the reason why fitness is so fucked up is because it's an art and it's not a science. And people try to science it. And I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of seeing people trying to science the body. It's the biggest mistake anyone will ever make. The human body is a really complicated and complex thing. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't treat it correctly, it won't work the way that you want it to. So you gotta be sweet and gentle to your body. And you gotta know sometimes when to wave your flag and when to say, hey, I did it, that was good for today. That was enough. And you know what? I'm gonna come back tomorrow and do some more. And the next day and do some more. Strength is never a weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.